Hi. Do you sometimes feel like a fraud? Do you think your achievements come down more to good luck or good timing rather than your hard work? If you do, then chances are you're experiencing typical feelings of the imposter syndrome. Hi, I'm Alison Vidotto from Push Small Business Training and Mentoring. So, imposter syndrome. I mean, many of us have those moments where we really doubt ourselves and our abilities. I know I certainly do. Not as often as I used to, thankfully, but they certainly creep in every so often. So, imposter syndrome is, it's not uncommon. And a quick look at the behaviours that are involved is an inability to internalize and accept your success. You often attribute your accomplishments to good luck rather than to your ability. You feel a little bit out of your depth, even though you're not. You fear that others will eventually expose you as a fraud. Who am I? So does any of it sound familiar to you? So chances are you are experiencing imposter syndrome. Now, the good news is it affects many women. I don't want to exclude men entirely, but it is predominantly a female problem. So if you recognise yourself, then it's worth noting that you're not alone. In fact, you're in great company. Jodie Foster, Meryl Streep, Sheryl Strandberg, the beautiful Maya Angelou, and even Dr. Margaret Chan, who is, the head of the World Health Organization. They've all talked about feeling like a fraud at different times in their careers. So the good news about imposter syndrome is that it's something we can actually change. I've got a few tips to share with you, and the biggest one is that imposter syndrome is not a personality trait. It's a response to a situation, so it's something that we can change very easily. So here's a few tips. Number one, look at your mindset. And I know that I do harp on about mindset, but it really is so vitally important because what you think affects the decisions you make and the actions you take. And so what you're thinking is really important. It's also worth noting that when you hear those imposter syndrome thoughts going through your head, they are not you. You are the person who's listening to that inner critic and those thoughts. So if you recognize and acknowledge those feelings, then you can deal with them. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. So once you do acknowledge them, and you can then counter them. Well, I'm feeling like an imposter right now, but I've got the right to do this. I've got the qualifications to do this. I've got the experience to do this. So we can change what we acknowledge. So that mindset and having the presence of mind to acknowledge and address those thoughts. Number two, listen to your inner voice. When those doubts or insecurities start running through your mind, pause and acknowledge them as we mention them, and then ask yourself, do I have the credentials? Am I giving this my best shot? Do I have the experience to do this? And of course I am. Of course I do. So look for validation internally rather than externally. And that can be really powerful. Tip number three, look at your credentials. Take the time to review how hard you've worked and what you've actually achieved. I mean, this can do wonders for your confidence, and it can also very nicely put the imposter syndrome to bed. So even write your achievements down. If you are feeling self-doubt, write down, the rights that you have to whatever the position or situation is. So it's not luck when you can see in black and white, well, I have an MBA, I have been doing this for 20 years, I have studied, you know, whatever is related. So actually look at and acknowledge your own credentials. And you know, continue to get those credentials. Continuous education and improvement is just vital. It's great for your business. It will grow your experience, it will grow your knowledge base, and it will help you deal with any form of self-doubt. So keep doing those courses, those workshops. Professional development will do a whole lot for you on a personal and a professional level. So that's imposter syndrome. I know I've personally struggled with it, as you can imagine. You know, a mother of 6. I was a stay-at-home mum for a number of years. Blonde, set up a charity surrounded by kids, need I say more? And then I went into the mining and resources industry, so the imposter syndrome was live and well. And it was a struggle to really own my professional achievements and step up as the leader of my business and, you know, the work that we do. But with those skills and acknowledging those skills and the successes, you know, I know that I've earned my place and I've earned it the hard way. And I recommend that you do the same. So I hope you find those tips helpful, and I hope you're having a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.